Alright, so I know it's been a little while since I've done one of these, but don't worry, I'm back from the store with my milk, cigarettes, and sausage fatteners, and here we're going to be talking about delay today. That's a pretty easy one to get back into the swing of things with. Delay is a pretty simple effect with a lot of powerful applications, so this video really shouldn't be that long. It's actually probably going to be my shortest one I've ever done here. So delay is a time-based audio effect that creates a repetition of sound. It's like that trope when someone yells echo, and then you hear it echo, it echoes, and it echoes, and it echoes. That's really all it is. But since we live in the future now, we have the ability to manipulate delay in several different ways, and some extreme manipulations of delays have become their own effects, like I think flanging, and that's the only one that comes to mind, but I think there's more. There's three main types of delay. You got tape, analog, and digital. Since this is YouTube, I'm just gonna assume we're all basement dwellers making music on our laptops, so there's no need to really talk about tape or analog, or even like delay pedals or anything. I'm too poor to own hardware anyways. As for the types of delay options, there's a fuck ton of delays out there you can find. Like before, I'll always advocate just using the stock one provided in your DAW. Once you're comfortable with that, you'll know enough to move on to a new one if you even feel the need. Ableton does have a couple different delay effects, but for now, we're just gonna pick the stock one that says delay. The delay interface is pretty simple. Here we got the dry wet knob here. It sets the balance between the dry interface and the delay signal. We got the feedback knob here, which is pretty much how long the delay effect goes on for. The longer the feedback, the more echoes you'll get. Here's the delay times on the left and right of the output channels. In this mode, they're broken down into tempo synced 16th notes. If you press here, you can set the times to whatever time you want. Clicking this chain here will divorce the left and right channels, allowing you to dial in their effects specifically. This little infinity sign here feeds the delay feedback, making the delay go on forever and ever and ever. And then this thing here lets you swing the delay by 33%. I guess that's the max you can swing it. Here are the different delay modes for the signals. These parameters affect how the delay sounds across the different delay times. It'll probably be easier just to show you. Okay, so to better show the different delay modes, I actually will use a vocal because it'll be easier to hear the variations in the sound with an actual vocal. So I got my song here, my Doodle Bob freestyle.
You're looking very wet and full of holes like SpongeBob. The way my stick will wet you up, you might sound like Doodle Bob. Me hoy, me yoy, me hoy, gung, me hoy, me yoy, is all you saying, bitch.
Oh, pretty good song. One thing we can do, I'm actually just going to isolate the mi hoi mi nyoi right here. What we do, I'm just going to let it play.
Mi hoi mi nyoi.
So you see that's how it works with repitch. Then with fade.
Mi hoi mi nyoi, mi hoi mi nyoi, mi hoi mi hoi.
See, it cancels it and it fades into the next delay. And then with jump.
Mi hoi mi nyoi.
It'll just jump right into the next one without fading it. They're kind of similar, but if you're just really particular about the sound, you can switch between these two. I like using repitch a lot just because I think it's funny. These modes are kind of interesting because they only work when the delay time is changed. And that's something I couldn't figure out for the longest. I really didn't know what these things were doing until one day I clicked on one of these while using a delay and I heard it change. So it's pretty cool for an effect, but I haven't found too many practical applications for this. And then right here is ping pong delay, which is actually my favorite thing about the Ableton delay, or just any delay. I'm pretty sure they all have it. If you do ping pong, makes it stereo and it goes between your left and right ears, and you can use this in conjunction with the different modes. So that's really cool if you want a sound to just be in the left and right ear so it's not taking up space in the middle of the mix. I think it's good for ad-libs a lot, or good for just stock voxes or anything, but do be careful because having too much stuff in the stereo can be unflattering depending on what it is, which is why we also have this EQ here so that you can EQ the signal so that in case you don't want all this low end. Or maybe you do want on the low end, I don't know. But it lets you EQ so you can get more specific with what's being delayed. Little filter here, don't worry about that. You can change the width, which is pretty much just the Q if it was an EQ. And then here right below the EQ we have the modulation, which lets you just do weird shit. Really, I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know what this shit does, really. and I never really use it. I don't think it's that useful, especially if you just want a clean, like normal delay sound. I guess this is just if you want to fuck with it. I don't really use it too often. So the most important parameters here are the dry and wet knob, especially if you have the delay on an audio track. Then the delay times, because that's going to be the time of the delay, and then the feedback. I think these are the most important things, and they're the most fundamental things you'll see in every single delay VST. They will all have those options. I think that's how delay operates at like a basic level. So like always, I just want to give just very common uses for delay. I don't ever try to complicate things too much because I think that's not very useful, especially if you're just trying to figure out what delay is. And it's such a simple effect that can be complicated, but for you to use it in a complicated manner, you just need to know how to use it basically, which, you know, makes sense. Complexity is just a bunch of simplicity. Delay is typically used in conjunction with reverb to give a sense of sound and space. Sounds in real life don't exist in just an empty box. We're in places, and as such, the sound is in places too. Sounds like reverberate off the walls and everything. You can hear when people are in spaces, and that sounds natural to us as opposed to something just being raw in a void. So for sounds that are in that aforementioned void, they sound unnatural to us, and delay can fix that. It can give us a more natural room sound. Reverb is more tailored towards that, but you can kind of use them interchangeably, especially on vocals. I find that for me, delay sounds a lot better compared to reverb, but I also don't really sing or anything. It's whichever you want to do. I'll have a reverb video soon. I don't really know what reverb does, to be honest. Delay is also useful for just delaying things, to go figure. You'll often hear vocals delayed. A lot of classic songs have slapback delay. Let's see, pull that up. This is a very classic sound that you've probably heard a lot.
Me hoing is all you saying, bitch. Yeah, I'm doubled up, powered like Super Saiyans.
You know, it's that little, I don't know, Phil Collins, when he's playing live, you can hear it in both ears or something. I don't know if Phil Collins does that. I tend to use delay on a lot of voxes and also on my tags and all like the anime girl sounds. Or sounds like that. And for some reason, I think delay just kind of makes things sound better, especially like quick one-shots or like bells or pianos or things like that. It's not really a professional opinion. It's just how I feel about it. Like previously mentioned, we're used to sounds being in a space, and delay gives that effect, so it makes things sound more natural to us. Delay is considered to be a cleaner way to add background ambience when compared to reverb, but they both have their uses, both very powerful. Now there's two common ways I'll apply delay. I'll do it directly on the track, like this. I'll just drag it on the audio track, or I'll put it on a bunch of sends. You can see down here, I have a ton of sends actually. And I actually prefer to do it in sends. I like to bus audio groups and send them to sends. Although everyone does it different ways. I know, like, I think I was watching an Underscores video and she was saying how she hates sends. Which I was like, what the fuck? I thought sends were like a cheat code, and then someone else just like hates them. So it's whatever you want to do, but I like to use sends. That being said, I will use both, and here's how I decide what to use. For creative purposes and wanting to manipulate a sound, I'll put it directly on the track. Because if I have the delay directly on the track, it'll affect the audio here. Whereas with the send, this audio is untouched and is sent here and is delayed here as well. I've mentioned this before in older videos, but maybe I should just do a video on sends because I talk about them so much. But for cohesion and keeping the integrity of the sound and all the bus, I'll use the send. You can see down here, I think I did it with the drums here. Maybe I did it something else. Okay, I might not have done it in this track, but usually what I do is I would bus everything together, and I would use these sends over here, send them to a delay. I can do it with, what is this? This is just, well, this is gonna sound weird having drums delayed, but I can up this here. And you can see the whole bus, all of the tracks here is being sent to this delay, and they're getting delayed by this delay here. That's just kind of how I like to do it. Keeps everything neat, and I don't have to keep going into each individual track and messing with all the delays. But sometimes that's what you want, and it's warranted. You know, you can choose the right tool for the right thing you're trying to accomplish. Although you may not even know what a send is. I haven't made a video on those yet, but just know that sends send a copy of the original audio signal to the send channel, which has the delay. So now you're getting the raw bass track sound and the send sound too, and this can be mixed to taste with these knobs over here. I think this is good because you can send multiple tracks to one send and allow them all to be delayed by the same effect, which keeps them in the same space. It's good for cohesion. Okay, so now that you know about delays, you can go mess around with a ton of them. Each delay does it in their own special way, so you just got to figure out what you like. Ableton has a lot of delays. You got this one here, which is just the delay. And then we have the filter delay right here. And then we've got grain delay here. And then we've also got a pretty good one, which was new. It was in Ableton 11, I think. We have echo. And I like this one a lot, actually. The main ones I'll use are echo and just the regular delay. Just these two. And they all do the same thing. I think they can all accomplish the same shit, but it's just the interface. And some have a little bit more options. Grain delay is weird if you want to make weird sounds. Filter delay is weird if you want to make weird filter sounds. Regular delay is pretty basic. Echo is pretty basic. I like echo because you can put reverb into the delay. It's all built in. This is an interesting sound. It has a lot of cool presets. Looking here, Ableton has more weird stuff. We got like spectral time delay, spectral resonance. I've actually never looked at any of these. I don't know what these are. Then we have flangers, which are a type of delay, but also not really. But they are a product of they're a consequence of delays. Then there's all these other third-party delays people swear by. Echo Boy is good. Valhalla delay is pretty good. H delay is cool. You just use your stock one though. You don't really need anything crazy.
You're looking very wet and full of holes like SpongeBob. The way my stick will wet you up, you might sound like Doodle Bob. Me hoy me yoy, me hoy gung yoy, me hoy me yoy is all you saying, bitch. Yeah, I'm doubled up, powered like Super Saiyans. And I'm eating lots of super raisins. I got super Koopa Troopers in my Koopa troop. You don't wanna do, we might have to hit you with Fruity Loops.